So I just watched a video of a woman talking about her ex-husband and how replaceable women are for men. And I can attest to this. It's crazy. So in my youth, I was raised by the patriarchy, as most of us women are. It wasn't until much later that I understood my worth, but we'll get to that later. So being married, I did everything. I cooked, I cleaned, I set up events, I had the friends, I made the dates. I did everything for this man.
Did this change from the relationship? Did you go into the relationship with those terms and then it just all of a sudden changed when you got married?
Everything. And anytime I asked for help, there was always backlash and an argument.
Is that a herp on your lip, by the way?
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
It was a manipulative tactic and eventually it got into fear tactics, if you know what I'm saying. There was a time where I had this really great job and then he convinced me to quit it and then got mad when I was not bringing any money when he asked me to quit my job. There was a point where our money was combined, but we would get allowances every month or week so that I could spend my own money. It was so nuts. Meanwhile, this man's setting up his studio in our house, spending money galore. Our expenses are crazy. Crazy, and it's not for me, because I have anxiety now about spending money because of his manipulative tactic. So to say that the man benefits more than the woman, 100%. I was losing my hair out of anxiety. I was walking on eggshells around this man. When I finally decided to end the marriage, and this is after months of fighting through therapy, we really tried. He grew up in a religious household, so divorce was not really in the picture, but it was in the picture for us. So I
98% of the time when I look at videos like this, I often think to myself, I want to hear the guy's side of the story. I want to have him explain, because all the things that you said could have been explainable. Nevertheless, let's just say for argument's sake that he was this tyrant, narcissist, whatever it is that you accumulated him up to be. Let's just say that that was the case. You said yes to him. What you're not saying is that any of this behavior was any different within a relationship, but now you're accumulating marriage to being a scam because it didn't work out for you. The whole construct is a scam for that reason. Now, we can challenge marriage, or rather the divorce laws, and call marriage a scam if you take a look at the amount of money that lawyers make off of a marriage's demise, the family court system, divorce laws, but the entire thing is a scam because you said yes to someone who wasn't a good match for you. These fake feminine women pushing these fake made-up stories will always fascinate me. Let's proceed.
Finally, I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. This is so toxic. I cannot do this mentally. I'm very ill. Finally, I put myself into therapy because I felt like I was a crazy person, but it was really like a narcissist manipulation tactic, right?
Yep, narcissist.
So get out of the marriage. A month out of that, he already has a new girlfriend. Trades in one for the other, right? This person has a rough background, so she's can put up with his BS. I'm learning my own worth at this point, and which is why I'm finally like, I'm done. I can't be in this. I cannot be in this for years and years and years with a person who doesn't even value me as a person. There's no way.
Guys, I want you to listen to me, and listen to me very closely. Any woman that claims previous relationship they dealt with narcissists and then later concludes that now they know their worth after facing a traumatic experience, all of a sudden they just figured some shit out, run from these women like the goddamn plague. Oftentimes women like this will just operate completely from their damn ego. They never want to be wrong. They will blame you for everything that has gone wrong within their life, and then they'll get up on TikTok and talk about it as if they're the victim. Oftentimes they will project that they now know their worth. Meanwhile, they know that their worth is very low. They just want to just say it out loud to make themselves feel better about it. Let's proceed.
That's clearly, you need somebody else for that. But it's not going to be me, and I feel so bad for this woman. Because that just shows her walk in life, right? a month into us separating,
Okay.
the divorce papers haven't even been drafted yet. 2 months later, he already has this woman pregnant. Like, if it's not, they're not married yet. Even to this day. This was 4 or 5 years later. They're not married.
Okay, that's quick.
Nope. But I bet you he's dangling that carrot. Because he wants to keep her, right? And that's an interesting space to be in. Now you have kids, and you're dangling the carrot of marriage to get her to stay. Manipulation, right? And I asked him before we signed the divorce papers, and I never talked to him again. Why did you ask me to get married? Like, why did you want to marry me?
Before she gets to that point, while I agree that is super soon after getting a divorce, it's framed in a sense of him being manipulative. Meanwhile, the choice to have that child is on both parents. Let's go.
Weird thing for someone like just to want and to push. Why? And he was like, oh, I don't know. He knew. He knew that he wanted me to take care of him. He had severe mother trauma. He wanted someone to take care of him, do everything for him, and he wanted someone he thought he could manipulate. And early on in our dating, yeah, I was a little bit more malleable. But as we got older and I had to fight for my literal well-being and health, that was not the same woman, and he needed to trade me out. So it's interesting how it benefits men over women. I don't know if I'll ever get married again. I would sign a prenup.
Okay.
I would do a prenuptial agreement with my long-term partner. But I don't know if I would ever get legally married, because there's just something that switches in the male brain afterwards, where they just feel very entitled to that person, when they already feel territorial when you're dating them. So then
She's
having
cooked.
that legal document, like, oh, because literally in the subconscious of every male, back in the day before women had rights, a marriage document was that you were their property. It literally was. So I'm good on that. I am a feminine woman ready for my masculine man, but I do not need to have a marriage document in order to prove that. So there's that.
Listen,
and
man.
I just am so grateful that more women are
Here we go.
becoming aware of their worth and their power, because hopefully that will help fight the patriarchal indoctrination of how men treat women.
Yeah, okay. There is no difference between watching content like this and then also watching RP content of dudes experiencing RP rage, right? What you're seeing on both sides of the coin is people who have been hurt by a particular situation, right? In her case, she was hurt in a marriage, went up to the TikToks, went up to the YouTubes, and then found feminists talking about men, divest this, decenter that, right? Same thing happens to men. Girlfriend will cheat on them. Girl just starts ignoring him out of nowhere. Google some ish. Up pops YouTube and my goddamn face will appear. Or whatever other content creator that begins to speak about what it is that they have experienced, red flags to look out for, and they have sort of this rage stage. What I always tell the guys is that get out of that rage stage as soon as possible. But you must get through the rage to eventually have this period of enlightenment. And within the enlightenment, you understand the bullshit. You understand the biology. You understand that it's people sometimes just ain't shit. There's men that ain't shit. There's women that ain't shit. There's toxic men, toxic women, but there's also good men. There's also good women as well. But above all, you understand that we are tribal people. We feel better in communities. We feel better when we have long-lasting, long-loving relationships. But you need to be intelligent enough to equip yourself with information of what are key indicators, what are red flags, what do I need to look out for, what do I need to dodge, what are they hiding from me? And because you have understanding of these things, it puts you into a defensive enough position to make better decisions. Again, let's assume that she's telling the truth. I don't think that she is. I think it's just her version of events. But let's assume that she is. How did she not see this shit before she said yes to the man? It makes no sense to me. But of course, she talks about he's a narcissist. Now she all of a sudden knows her worth. And now, because of the patriarchy, I'm so glad women are just finding themselves and all this other bullshit. All the MTRs out there, you take a look at women like this. My suggestion is you don't even let women like this within their trauma into your friend group, because what they say or how they feel about a man in a situation will inflict damage on your psyche. And young lady, if you do not receive therapy for where you're currently at and heal this relationship that you have with men, then I suggest you go stock up on some dog food for the remainder of your life. Let's take a look at some of these comments before I end the video. 25% of women in the USA who want to have children will never have children, and it will increase to 34% by 2050. Damn, that is actually super crazy. But a necessary comment, because women like this will behavior themselves into singleness and then cry themselves to sleep every night when they're unable to achieve the family that they've always wanted. You managed to get away. He tried to build a better trap for the next young lady, harder, seemingly to leave. Swear we lived the same life, got married very young to a man 10 years older, never again. That ish is a scam. He had a new girlfriend 3 months later. Shaking my head. I truly don't understand how men know most women are good women, because we are replaceable to them. The same isn't true for men. A good man isn't easily replaceable. Yet they cry about where the good women at. Women remain good. They just don't want men anymore. Yeah, I think that I've got all the information that I need here. Oh, here goes another one. Why are almost all men like this? I think that that's enough content here for today. But guys, let me know what you think. Leave me some comments down below. Do you agree with the things that I'm saying? Do you agree with the things that she's saying? Do you think that I got it right? Wrong? Let me know down in the comment box down below, and let's have this conversation. Last but not least, join my men's self-development community. Link to it down below. Link in, beam up, and I'll see you guys soon. Until next time, you two. Peace.
She belongs to the street.
Girl, don't hold my hand. You a mattress actress on the OnlyFans. Get your money, girl, but damn, how is that your only plan? What you gonna do when you get too old to strip and dance? Get up out your echo chamber screaming period and yes. You a low down dirty woman if you try to get knocked up by a high value man.